Hello, this is a very bad Carl Wheezer impression because I can't do impressions. And today I'm going to be explaining the Dream SMP lore in this voice because I can't do Carl Wheezer voice. So this is my very poor impression of a Carl Wheezer voice. My voice probably break, but it'll be funny. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so the Dream SMP, it's like this thing with like a bunch of YouTubers and such. And, they like role play and things like that. And they have live streams and videos sometimes. And they have just a lot of things that they do in the Dream SMP. So the Dream SMP kind of started with just Dream, Sad Up, and George. And I think a couple maybe of their other friends, but it might have just been them three. I don't remember really. And then eventually, Tommy and it joined the server, and then they did some more roleplay and things like that. Like they started a war about discs. It was a disc war, and Tommy and it got discs from creepers, I presume, or from chests and dungeons. And then they had a war about the discs because Dream wanted the discs, but Tommy didn't want to give Dream the discs. So they had a war about that. And then some more people joined, and then they had another war where basically some people created a nation called Lampeyre, where they had a nation of like mainly British people because they didn't like Americans canonically. So they wanted to do things like sell drugs in a hot dog van. And then they built a nation. Some people in the nation were Wilbur Soot, Tommy Innit, Tubbo, etc. And they just did lore and things like that there. And then the war happened because they were trying to separate from the Dream SMP, but Dream didn't like that very much. So they did the Dream SMP, so they had a war because Wilbur Soot and Dummy and Tubbo and such wanted their independence from the Dream SMP, but they were able to get that very easily. And they quoted Hamilton a lot. And a lot of Hamilton animatics were made at that time because it was funny. And anyway, they technically lost the war, but then Tommy was like, you know what, I'm gonna give my discs to Dream. And then he did so, and then Dream was like, yeah, you can be your own nation, I guess. And then Lampeyre proclaimed the independence. I don't remember the name for the proclamation. It probably wasn't the Declaration of Independence, but it might have been. I don't know. And then I kind of forget what happened to the lore. I just know that eventually this guy called Jay Schlatt came back because he was banned originally because he wasn't supposed to be on the Dream SMP, but they kind of added him back. And then he ran for president because they were holding an election for Lampeyre to decide who would be the president. And it was Wilbur Soot that ran. I think it was like Quackity and George Not Found. And then Jay Schlatt ran as well. And in the end, Wilbur Soot won, but Quackity and Jay Schlatt had an agreement that they would pull their votes together. So Jay Schlatt won, and then he kind of like said to Wilbur and Tommy, hey, you can't be here anymore, I'm banning you. So then they left, and then they got Technoblade onto the server, and then Technoblade kind of helped them to like, well, no, he didn't actually help them. He sort of helped them, but they kind of used him, so then he blew some stuff up. But then Wilbur also blew some stuff up because he kind of went onto a villain arc. And then he blew up Lampeyre with TNT. And then he said a line that was similar to a line that someone called Erit said during the original war with Lampeyre. Saying it was never meant to be. And then they So then they started to rebuild, but Wilbur was killed by Filza and then became this guy called Ghostbur, who was kind of really like weird sometimes. And he kind of talked like, not like this, but somewhat similar to this. And then they had some more conflict. And then eventually, Dream and Technoblade were like, hey, we're gonna blow up Lampeyre again. And then they did that. Um, and then, um, and then something else happened with like the discs and Dream. And Tommy and Inadubba went to Dream to get the discs back. But then Dream revealed that he had been like stealing things from the server that people were attached to. So then everybody came and then we're like, hey Dream, we're gonna put you in prison now. And so he did that. And then I kinda don't remember the lore after that. Someone named Rambo joined the server and he was very cool and had some lore and did an ARG and there's things like that. And I don't know if his ARG is still going or not. I don't know. I'm just Carl Wheezer. So then there was this plot line about an egg and this guy called Bad Boy Halo. But that didn't really go anywhere. I think they stopped that. Or it might be going on still. I don't really know. And then some people started forming new nations like Quackity and Sapnap and Carl Jacobs. But then they split up and then Quackity started something called, Lost Nevadas, I think it's called. And then Sabnab and Carl have like Kanoko Kingdom or something, I forget the name. And then recently Technoblade broke Dream out. Now, before that, Technoblade got into prison himself because they trapped him in there. But then 3 months later, he got out. Because Phil let him out, but he was originally supposed to be in there for 3 days, but Phil couldn't read. But then Technoblade went back to the prison to break Dream out, and then Rambo and Connor Eats Pants were also there, so they broke them out, and then Rambo died. And then Technoblade met up with Tubbo to ask about a picture that Rambo gave him of a piglin, and then they had the talk, and then they saw Dream and Sapnap, and then the lore happened, and that's as much as I can remember. So if you enjoyed the video, I don't know how you could, because this is probably painful to listen to. So goodbye, and I hope you have a nice day or night. And I'll see you in the next video, probably not Carl Wheezer related. Okay, bye.